Okay, welcome back. In this series, I'm going to be really focused on creators and artists specifically and how you might leverage launching on Believe. This could be for a wide range of different types of creators. So maybe you're a writer, maybe you're a musician, you could be a digital artist, even just an educator. Maybe you do tutorials online. You can have a look at the list here and see if any of these descriptions match up with you, but this should cover a wide range of concerns and questions you might have. So maybe the best question that we should start with and try to answer a little bit is why launch a token? Let's just stick to the why in terms of what you could stand to gain from this, and give you a model for how you could expect to earn some fees off of it, just so you understand that to begin with. Then we can dive in more to the actual why and how it's going to fit into your projects more specifically. Simple math here is that you earn 1% of all the trading volume as a creator. So what exactly does that translate to? Here's just a couple of, again, these are models. So maybe you do 1 million in volume. That's $10,000 in fees that goes to you. 5 million in volume, that's going to be 50,000. And then 10 million plus volume, that's 100,000 for you. Just to clarify what that means, and if you're not familiar with what I'm talking about in terms of volume, that's the buying and selling of your token back and forth. Each time that happens, there's transactions and there's fees that come off of each one of those. So that's the exact mechanics, more or less, of what's going on here. Essentially why this is important, this is income that you're getting while you're actually just focused on doing your thing and being a creator. So naturally, this you would expect to scale with your success of your project. More volume is going to be more fees and more income directed to you. If you want to compare this to other platforms and things you might be using to generate revenue already, let's just say Patreon or YouTube, there's no multi-platform fees, no revenue sharing with the platforms themselves. Your community's activity also directly benefits you financially. So the bigger the community you're able to build, the better off. Obviously, it should make sense that that's going to create a feedback loop. One successful token launch for a project could really help fund your career for the long term as you continue maybe on to work on other things as well. I'll touch on some of that a little bit more later though, so hang on to that thought. Beyond the mechanics of how you earn from something like this, let's go into actually the value proposition of what this can mean for you as a creator. My background experience is mostly as a creator, but I've also worked on the development side of things. So I'm involved in sound design for games. I've built apps, but I've also done things like release collections of sound libraries people can license. So I'm going to kind of interject some of my perspective here. Maybe you think of it similarly to something like Patreon, where there's different tiers of access. But here's a couple things you could do. You could have ongoing access to exclusive content. Maybe there's some sort of direct interaction with you as the creator. Maybe they have some power to influence creative decisions. Maybe they can vote on different things that you're going to do, or maybe the direction of your project, or just it could be something basic, or you could get really creative with that, I would imagine. And then also, it's going to create some appreciation as your fan base grows. So for me, I had to think about this. Maybe what I would do is, I offer licenses for a lot of my sounds. So maybe I could do something like have a token, and maybe the top tier holders get some sort of more perpetual access to all of my sound content as long as they hold the tokens. So it could be extremely high benefit, not something I would typically offer, but if you're that invested in what I'm doing, there's certain things I could see myself participating in like that. Let's just continue down that train of thought and kind of model a 3-step process here, give you an outline of something that you may or may not do. So think a little bit more about this. What exactly could your token holders maybe find fun or valuable? And again, that could be different for anyone in any different type of situation. There's all types of creators out there. But here's just a couple other ideas that you can think of in addition to what I just mentioned. Maybe do weekly AMAs, or provide some sort of behind the scenes content. Again, going back to myself, maybe I would provide the design sessions. So not only the sounds, but maybe they could access my actual raw design projects. And with a tutorial that accompanies that, that could be something pretty cool. It's also, it's additional effort on my part, so it represents possible added value there. After you got some ideas floating around, think about how maybe you would break those down into tiers. What's the top value that you want to offer, and what is maybe something to at least just get somebody attracted to the idea to begin with. So you could have some like for basic holders, VIP holders, and then something for like a whale or something who's going to really be invested in what you're doing. What are you going to offer that person? 2 or maybe 3 tiers is kind of a good starting point. You can add more later if you see like an opportunity to do that, but don't overcomplicate it right off of the bat, so to speak. Keeping all that in mind, the forefront of this is really putting community first. You can't put all this other value stuff in the front of your head and then forget this is actually something you have to work at and actually be passionate about and invest in your time yourself as well. I mean, at the end of the day, your biggest fans are going to become your biggest supporters, and in turn, if they're really having a good experience with whatever it is you're offering, if they like it a lot, that's going to convert to more fans and more people interested in your projects. So it's really all about doing that in a way that you have like this long-term expectation, and that's going to be kind of the most important mindset to succeed. That's a good place for me to wrap things up for this. Make sure you go and check out the Believe University summary video before proceeding for our quick start guide.